He just said "fuck you" to me. They'll sometimes scream things in there. It's like a conversational scenario with surveillance role play, but then the guy sometimes, to get my attention, he'll like yell something like "get out of here" or "kill yourself" or what he just said. He's like the "f you" thing. The woman just said, "I hate this," and then the woman just said again, "This is evil." And the guy said, "I don't care." And it just keeps going back and forth like that. I can't hear so much what the guy is saying right now. I've been doing, and really these do. I know that a lot of TIs on the calls. It's like people are talking about cleansing regimens. The Epsom salt baths. I got an Epsom salt, a Dr. Teal's Epsom salt bath with activated charcoal. And then I'll do a bath of that. Maybe I'll go to sleep after that cleansing, and then the next morning I'll wake up and do borax bath with the orange palm olive, because the palm olive has to have L-lactate acid. And I've been doing it for a couple of days. I kind of slack off my cleansing. That actually affects the level that I hear the V2K at. So there's really something. I'll just say it again. And I think we all know this. There's something to the toxins in our environment and a biofilm on our skin, because our skin is conductive anyway. But then when they're streaming this directed energy, that biofilm on our skin, actually inside of our body, and some of it, the nanoparticulates, may be actually going past the blood-brain barrier, so that the stream of energy can go through it. But the cleansing baths really do work. It's incredible if you stick with it and you keep doing it every day. Do it for a month straight, and you'll see the levels of what the intensity of the attacks will be affected. I mean, that's a total fact. I've tried it so much. But then I think, we were talking about it on the call the other night, how these guys will do subliminals, like so maybe they're doing something that you can't hear, you can't necessarily hear. It's not like audible V2K, but it's something like that your subconscious is picking up, saying, I don't want to do cleansing baths, or I don't want to listen to pleasing music, or I don't want to ground today, I don't want to ground. So they're doing these subliminals all the time, and you may feel lethargic, and you may feel like subconsciously you're not, you have a less of a desire to keep these things going that help you. So we really got to fight against that, condition ourselves positively. I do want to cleanse, I do want to protect myself, I do want to, I have a good energy level, I can do this, I am doing this. Somebody corrected me, because I can do this is not enough. I am doing this, I am doing this. Hold on a second, guys. I want to just see. The guy just goes, he's retarded. The guy goes, you're. He either said he's retarded or you're retarded. And he goes, you're retarded. And then the woman goes, this is sad. So that's kind of, like what's going on with the V2K right now. That's kind of how it is all the time. And then they'll kind of yell things, but then it'll be a conversation where the woman doesn't want to do it, and the guy's like, it doesn't matter, we have to do it, and stuff like that's the general thing that's all the time. And it's been, well, at the beginning the V2K started with 3 voices, and then they changed when I went into the house. Then it was then it was still 3 voices with another 4th voice that would come in sometimes. But different voices completely. Like they had voice modified and changed to pretend to be the woman and the ex-military guy next door. And then one of the voices was supposed to be the woman who lived next to them. So they were running that psyop. And then when I moved into this condo, it stayed 3 voices for a while. It was like 2 women, one of them a mean woman, one of them a nice woman. The mean woman had a deeper voice than the other woman was supposed to be the nice person and had a higher voice, and then the guy's voice. And they'd switch out, like they just fit into that voice modification on the shifts, and then stick it into, I think, a chatterbox automated software. And they have a lot of material. I mean, because it's been 8 years or 7.5 years of straight V2K real time, so they have a lot of ammunition for the automated back and forth. And I think there are actually chatterbox softwares that will do it automatically for them. They don't have to put in this part of the conversation and that part of the conversation. It will automatically set things up to say this and then in a rhythm say that. And I think it goes with the rhythm that our body's working in, the way that we're breathing in oxygen and stuff like that. But I won't really get into that. Hold on one second. Guy just said, I don't care. And he's saying something longer now, but I can't really. Something like, a woman just said, this is ridiculous. And then the guy said, the male said, he's lost his mind, it doesn't matter. It's good though that it's toned down. Sometimes the V2K will tone down a little bit and they'll be doing something else stronger. Like the remote neural manipulation will be more intense, but the V2K will be kind of turned down a little bit. So it seems like they have a certain level of power that they can put to each thing on their remote platform. And this is just I've never seen a remote platform, but it seems like sometimes they will tone down certain things and then work on something else. They'll pump more directed energy into it. So I don't know how that works, but okay. Hold on one second, guys. I can't tell what she just said. She said something. All right. That's kind of good. I've spent so long. I haven't responded to them verbally, like saying words out of my mouth for like months and months and months. I think it's been half a year. But I do sometimes. I mean, when I think something in my inner voice, they will respond to that. And I mean, people who have not experienced that, that's just a major, like, oh, that's definitely schizophrenia or whatever. But if you do say that, like if you are saying that right now, and you are a humanitarian and you do care about people, check out, Nick Begich and some like look up Voice to Skull and Nick Begich, and definitely watch this Brain Science from Bench to Battlefield. These neuroweapons and V2K and microwaving people's brains to get signals and to traumatize them and see what they're going to do and kind of study their personalities as they apply to their brain and their nervous system. These are happening. They've been happening since the 1950s, maybe earlier than that. The guy in Brain Science from Bench to Battlefield just straight up lies and says that the neuroweapons technologies have only reared their heads after 2000. So he just straight up lies and says that. These weapons have been around for a long time. They've been around for a long enough period of time to be used like in a global scale. Where these people attacking me, they're on a remote platform and they have shift workers, and then there's a lot of those people in a certain city and in every city, and they all have their targets. They all have their targets that they're assigned to. So the technology has gotten, couldn't have been 2000 that they just figured this out. It's way before that, because now it's like a computer, where they had one big computer and now we all have laptops and tablets and things like that. That's how this technology is in the defense sector, or whatever you want to call it, the Satan cult making money and destroying people's brains and families to collect some data. And anybody too, this is really important, and I'm kind of just rambling on here. The woman just said, I hate this. the guy, I'm having trouble hearing him. It's like, say something, man. He turned it down. Turn it down because he doesn't want to do that. Because I don't look crazy. Like anybody who thinks is like I'm sitting here just saying with the it's like it sounds like it's coming from that back wall, and it's like a woman and a guy. Hold on. He's like saying really, because the woman just said something like we don't have to do this, and he's like really. All right. She just said this is weird. I don't know if that's automated though, because they may be actually responding to what I'm doing now. Like, because I'm just talking about it and she's saying this is weird. That could be just an automated response. It's hard to tell sometimes. It's really hard to tell. I know that they're using Chatterbox a lot, but there is manual injection a lot too. Like I gave y'all the example. I watched that movie 7 Days in Antibes, and it had Daniel Bruhl in it. And then I went and laid down on my leather chair, and I was like thinking of all the other movies that he had been in. And the man's voice said he's thinking of other movies that Daniel Bruhl has been in. I mean, that's pretty specific, you know. So that's how they're responding to visuals. And when you visualize things, they're training us as targets to parallel it with an inner voice, to an inner voice thought. Like I think before the targeting, we didn't do that so much, where we would think of a visual and that we wouldn't really have anything going in our inner voice. But now, you know, we're being trained to think like that, or not trained, because it's non-consensual, but we're being conditioned to think like that. Guy just said, "I don't care." She said something, and he was like, "I don't care. I don't care." That I mean, it's exactly like that. He's like, "I don't care. Turn it up." Like, "I don't care. Turn it up." And then the woman said, "I can't do this." All right. I may do a video one time. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if y'all are interested in that. If y'all are interested, I'm probably going to get a lot of trolls and community-placed agents going, "Yeah, definitely do a video on your V2K." You know, I'm thinking of just sitting there because it'll kind of give y'all an idea. Well, also watch the movie Metropia. In Metropia, he does get an audible voice right in his head. That's not exactly how my V2K works, but some people's V2K, you know, I've heard that it does work like that, and it sounds like it's just right in the center of their head. Mine, it sounds like it's like that wall. It sounds like people are talking right behind that wall, and so it's directional. Um, it is something that goes along with this, and it goes along with mine. So I don't care. I'm going to talk about it. I mean, psychiatric reprisal and all this bullshit about getting us in trouble for being experiments for remote neural manipulation and, you know, remote neural weapons. Fuck it. You know, fuck it. People need to know about this stuff. It's destroying our lives. And this is to a point, I mean, where my body and my brain are so raped that it's like I can barely get up in the morning, and then it's like them people spit in my face and kick my face because they've been told some lies out in society to go ahead and discredit me, so that the people who are experimenting on us can have more time to do this, can have more time to just collect the data they want. And well, I'm getting to 45 minutes, so I'll go over something next time about genetic markers. They're testing genetic markers with parallel with the way that your brain and nervous system work, and that's why a lot of TIs may have genetic material collected from them, maybe all of us. So in the guy in Brain Science from Bench to Battlefield talks about that. All right, guys, I'm getting to 45 minutes. This was just kind of I needed to make a video. I'll make some more informative videos about information out there on the next one. I love you guys. I hope y'all are doing relatively well. Please hang in there. Stay alive in your head and in your heart.